Hi everyone, this is my second attempt at narrating this video. When I did it the first time, I realized that I didn't have the entire video input into my editing software. So, that was a problem. So I'm making this layout. It was inspired by Shamel Lane. I will link the blog posts and the sketch post down below and over on my blog. So I'm going to stamp a background using Coastal Cabana Strawberry Slush, Crisp Cantaloupe, and Pistachio Pudding. I have this first part sped up really fast because it's just me stamping the same background over and over again, and I figured that you probably didn't need to see that slower. So I'm using this little butterfly stamp from a Scrapbooking Cards Today stamp set that came with one of their kits. And I'm just going to stamp it over and over again, making sure to go off the edge of the paper. I do a couple, I think I do 2 lines of the stamping, and then I will cut to a finished background. So I do make a mistake with the stamping, but I just cover it up on my final layout and you will never know. So here I'm using Strawberry Slush at full value, or like full strength, and then I'm going to use Strawberry Slush as a second generation stamp, and I like that a lot better, but that's where I make my mistake. So I do the second generation stamping and everything is fine until I get to the end of the layout, and like the end of the row. And I'm not sure what happens, but I make a mistake. And then I forget that I'm doing the stamping off technique and I stamp it full strength. So I really made a mistake. And here is the finished background with all of the colors on it. And as you can see, it is not stamped straight. It's not perfect by any means. But it works, and it's very colorful and bright, and it's a good way to use some of your stamps. So here I'm going to show you the sketch that I'm using from Shamel.com, and I will link to the post with that sketch in it. It's a really good sketch. It really features background paper. So if you have a piece of pattern paper that you really love and you don't want to cover it up, this is a good sketch for it. I happen to make my own background paper for this. So I'm cutting down my photo. I think I cut it at 3.5 by 3.5, but I'm not sure. But I think that's what I eventually settled on. So I'm using a picture of my kitten, Chloe. This is about this layout is about the day that we got her and how we ended up, and there's Chloe there, how we ended up deciding to get a kitten. And I'm not sure I wrote down why we decided to get the kitten, but I will have to make a layout that explains that. And I'm going to make a layout explaining how we decided on her name as well, because we had a few names that we were thinking about for her. And we decided on Chloe. So I'm matting the photo in the DIY Boutique by Simple Stories, and then I'm going to cut a little pennant flag shape out of that same pattern paper. It's just a sequin pattern paper, and the colors match really well with the ink colors, which is why I chose them. I have a couple paper collections that match these paper colors really well. Here I'm just looking for something that I can write my journaling on, and just something that I can fill up that make a kind of a block type shape with. So I am going to use that card there, and I'm going to use that card, except I'm going to cut off those lines off the bottom because I didn't really like them. And I am going to use that day of the week card, and I'm going to figure out a way to highlight the Friday because that's what day we got her on. And that white card is what I'm going to write my journaling on eventually. That little piece of paper there is from Carta Bella, I believe. And I'm just cutting up a banner out of it to put up at the top there. It matches the same colors as the stamping. And I want to get it used up because it's probably one of my favorite pieces of paper. And I think that may have been my last piece of it that I had. So that's pretty impressive that I used an entire piece of pattern paper cut up into little bits because I didn't use it for a background page. So I'm just gluing the different elements down, just using a small strip of adhesive on the back of them, so that I can tuck things underneath if I want to. And I will go back and glue down the edges with my Scotch Quick Dry adhesive glue to make sure they're stuck fast. Here I couldn't get my scissors to cut that tiny little bit of overhang, so I'm just going to use my craft knife to cut it off the edge. Just be careful if you're doing this. I haven't cut myself yet, but I know it's probably only a matter of time. And it worked really well to just cut off that little edge. So I'm just writing my journaling in about how we got her and how it was just super spontaneous that we decided to get another kid. And I'm using my Staedtler, I think it's my fine liner. I don't think it's a Lumocolor one, but I could be wrong. It could be a Lumocolor one. I just bought the single pen at an art supply store here by my house. So I only really wanted one. But now that I have used it, I sort of really want to get a whole set with all the colors in it and use them for journaling. So here I'm just going to go through this little bowl that I keep like rhinestone type things and enamel dots in and such. And just looking to see if there's anything that I want to use in there. Oh, I apologize. Most of those little bits and pieces are leftover bits from Studio Calico kits. Like this flare is a leftover from a Project Life kit, I believe, from Studio Calico. And it's just pink. That's the only reason. It doesn't really have any other implications about the layout other than it's pink. So I'm just adding these wood veneer arrows in, and then the video is going to cut and I'll come back, but I don't think I do anything in between. My cat was getting into the kitten's food, so I had to pause and come back. That's the part that was missing when I did the recording the first time. I thought it was very odd that the layout just stopped. I was like, that's not the finished layout. So now I'm going to use this Color Magic butterfly from Heidi Swapp. I'm not sure if I actually end up going with this butterfly or if I use a smaller one. So I'm just inking it with the pistachio pudding ink color, which shows up really dark on these Color Magic pieces. So these are resist, they have a like an embossed resist on them. I'm just using a clean sponge to wipe off any ink that might have gotten stuck on the white part there. So they have a resist on them, so the ink will only adhere to part of the shape. And I'm not sure, I think I might go with a smaller one because I couldn't get this butterfly to sit properly where I wanted it to. Yeah. I think I do end up going with, or do I use the bigger one? Oh, I can't remember now. Oh, I do end up using the bigger one. There was like a little spot where you see the butterfly's like body part there. it was white underneath it, and I wanted to cover it up with something. Oh, there's Chloe. And she's cute, so I think I let her stay for a bit, but I'm pretty sure I will remove her shortly. She likes to sit on the table and look out the window because there's a window right in front of my scrapbook table. So now I'm just going to add some enamel dots in, and that's the finished layout. I will link to my blog post where I will have photos of my layout, and I will link to those 2 pages by Shamel Lane. Thanks for watching. Bye!